Hello and welcome to the SML podcast. This is SML Total Access. I am Primetime 000, and with me today, as always, is my co-host ZZ the Great. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Prime? What's going on, 15-time champ?
Don't get that
What's happening
twisted.
SML? SML, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? You guys doing great. Hope y'all are protecting yourself from this corona epidemic. We are I know things are more important than Madden, especially in these times. But hey, we're here to give you total access regardless, baby. We're gonna tell you guys what's going on in the league and dive deep into some topics.
Yeah, man, I'm fired up as always. It's gonna be lit.
Yes.
It's gonna be fire. So let's go ahead
Fire.
and let's get
Let's
right into
do
this, man.
it.
Speaking of fire, there's one team in the SML. There's a lot of good teams right now, a lot of one-loss teams, but there is one team who is undefeated. We're talking like 7 or 8-0, and that is the New England Patriots. They're the talk of the town, or at least he's talking about himself. What do you think about the Patriots, and are they gonna go undefeated?
The New England Patriots, which is my boy QB Stud, our counterpart host personality. He's
Yes.
he is the host of Crunching the Numbers along with my man Meats
Mhm.
and every once in a while my man Grams, even though he tried to burn his house down. But QB Stud, man, he's a great player. I mean, it's undeniably he's a great player. He's a guy
Yes.
that could eventually win it all. But at this point in time, do I think he's better than a lot of players? Because we have some great players in this league. But with him being 6-0, not even halfway through the season, I'm not going to give him nods to the Super Bowl, not even to the conference championship right now.
Mhm.
That's something in the SML for me that has to be proven. Other than that, QB Sutter is a great player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. I agree. He seems to struggle when he plays guys the first time around, and then he gets better. He watches the tape. I think he watches a lot of tape, and he seems to go off
Yes.
of tendencies. And if you're a
Mm.
guy who plays him the second time around, he I think he did that to me. He beat me the second time we played. I beat him the first time. Um, he's very tendency oriented, and I think
Uh,
he played Jacksonville. I think it was for the first time. Maybe it was the second time in the playoffs last year, and he got smacked. So I'd be curious to see if he faces somebody in the playoffs where he hasn't played them yet, and he's not quite dialed in on
yeah.
tendencies. So I don't know. Just something I've observed. He's a very good player. I'd say he makes the divisional round. If he does get the bye week, and I don't see him going much past that. Just like you said, I think you have to prove your worth in the SML, and he's off to a hot start. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a championship round appearance, but I don't see anything past that at the best.
Yeah. If he makes it to the championship round, yeah, because as we all know, QB is our analytics guy,
Yes.
and that makes, and he'll tell you himself, his personality is analytical. So
Mm-hmm.
he goes off of what he knows
Mm-hmm.
about a situation, and he analyzes that, and he uses it against other players. So and that goes directly. I think you hit it right on the head by saying
Yes.
that he has to know what you're doing beforehand and what your plan is, and he will dissect that and turn it against you.
Yeah, and that's what makes him great. And so
Yeah.
yeah, Patriots very solid team, great add to the league. Moving on though, you've played a lot of good teams in the NFC. So I'll ask you this, and then maybe I'll try to give my go. Who's the smartest player you've played just all around? Like, you ever play a guy where it's like they might punt it in a situation where you would kick a field goal and it's late in the game, or they're doing things with the clock that you haven't thought of, or something like that. Who's the smartest
Yes.
player you've played and you're like, wow, like this guy, outside of his stick skills, just his football brain is just
No. Yeah. His know-how.
yeah, yeah.
But excluding you, because you're one of the smartest players I. You're real good with adjustments and making on field, the whole field general aspect of it all. I think you're really great in that aspect. I'm going to exclude you, but
Mm-hmm.
besides you, and like I said before, and I am I'm a guy that if I say something, I don't back down or I don't act like I didn't say it. But I didn't believe that the Jaguars were as good as they were.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jaguars, Dumpahanis, he is great
He's
at,
legit.
he's a football guy. He's really good at analyzing the. Some guys, I'll notice some guys wait for you to move your linebacker so they can see which way to run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that's smarts and I don't think that's necessarily smarts in football.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy that knows who's going to be open, where he's going to be open, to know how much time he has in the pocket, to have the patience in football and football know how far the safety is coming up, whether he's 5 yards off, when to throw it deep, when not. I think that Dumpahantis and also my boy Noel is also a
Mm-hmm.
very good, smart football player. I mean, and besides Grams and stuff like that, who is an experienced guy who knows just about everything about the game.
Yeah, I
But
want. Oh, go on.
no. But if I was going to choose anybody, it would be Dump.
Yeah, Dump, great one. Grams, you mentioned. Obviously, he's a very experienced, like you said. He seems to. I think he prides himself in clock management, situational football, and I kind
Yes.
of want to throw one out there in your division. Mike FML. He seems to kind of study things and also be a guy who always just kind of is aware of the situation, and his stick skills may not always be consistent in terms of uh, I don't know. I don't know. He's just not. His stick skills aren't always there. They are sometimes, but
Yes.
just knowing what's gonna happen, I feel like Mike FML is that guy. Like he's one of the top five guys in the league in terms of
Yeah.
football IQ and Madden IQ.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Mike is a very smart guy. You
Yeah,
know, we
smartest
have
in the league, Mike
yeah,
FML,
we have a few smart guys in this league, man, and
brainiac, Mike FML.
yeah, very what's the word I'm looking for, but I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But we have a lot of guys that are intellectual
Yeah.
and they think a lot and they're very they 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 know a lot about a lot of stuff, and you could tell because of their some of the arguments you see in chat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I mean, I consider myself a fairly smart guy. I know a lot about a lot of things, but the things I know about are centered on what I know about. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as we're speaking about Madden and this particular game, yeah, Mike is a very smart guy.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
and I don't know if you've watched a lot of Noel's games, man, but
I
I
have
play
not.
Noel twice a year.
He's. But we
I
were
play,
actually going to talk on. Listen, I'm on it right now. I think the Bucks are freaking hot. His running back French, best back in the league, meets. I'm sorry, Goldman no longer the number one back. Knowles
bro.
legit.
No, bro. Listen, y'all talk about the NFC South, but man, we got a guy down there. And we play twice a week, and this guy is tough. He reminds me so much of Dumpahanis.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they was brothers and they played every day
Yes.
because these guys are very and that can also equate to you because they do what you do. They don't panic when it's not necessary to
Mm-hmm.
panic, and when it's time to get the ball away, they get it away,
Yeah.
and that's very hard to fight.
I will say I played Knoll twice this cycle. The first time I bent him over and I laid it into him. The second time he
Mm-hmm.
beat me and I think the score was within 10 points, but he dominated the game. He ran it. He was very balanced. He's a great
Yes,
freaking player. And I know we
he's a
talk
good
about
player.
the Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Redskins, all these great teams, often overlooked, but might be a mistake is that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team led by Noel Overlord, who
And
could make a run at
Noel
this
won
thing.
the NFC South. He won he not the NFC South. He won the NFC last year.
Mm-hmm.
So Noel had the best record in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not overlook this guy. This guy is really good. And this year, I mean, he hasn't fallen off. He fell off 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought maybe his first year might have been a fluke, but no. I've
He's
watched him
legit.
play. I've watched him play enough. This guy knows what he's doing, and we always have good battles.
Yeah,
But he does know what he's doing.
Andy Sim. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great running back, and that kind of he drafted him. That leads me into team
Yeah.
building. I often see guys who don't. always make it to the draft or don't always do certain things in free agency, and then their team suffers because of it. Um,
Yes.
and then they're complaining about their team. How would you consider? Do you think team building is very overshadowed, or is that just something? Um,
I think,
what do you think?
I think team building, I think everyone here knows that team building is like one of the most important things we're doing here. We're playing franchise mode. Anybody who's played Madden long enough knows that you've played a guy before that you kick his ass every time you played him. But then when he picks that team that is 10 points better than your team, he he wins. He wins the game
Mm-hmm.
just by strictly the computers and AI is a lot better on guys that he's not controlling. So team building plays a very big aspect because if a guy has if you're playing a 93 against an 83, yes, great players can overcome that, but you are at a disadvantage no matter how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to you is okay, for a guy like me or any other guy that doesn't win as often as you guys do, we don't get the experience points
Mm-hmm.
that you guys get to develop players. So, um, what do you think is a if you're a losing team, do you think you could still build a team that is an 88 or above average team?
Yeah, that's a great question. And what I often see is, and the guys who lose aren't always, and this is why I kind of mentioned team building being overshadowed. It seems like the guys who win often, I always see them trying to make big moves, like myself. Like, all right, I
Yeah.
win the most. I've won 3 out of 5 championships so far. I make the most trades in the league, the riskiest
Yes.
trades in the league. I mean, shelling out. I shelled out my best running back, 94 speed to Polly. Who else would do that? And in
Yeah.
token, I get a first round draft pick who's a running back for cheaper, and now he's already a superstar dev guy. And I feel like
Yes.
oftentimes people with bad teams they just don't want to make that risky move and they might almost feel disconnected. I think it's possible, I do, but I think that like you said, if you're not as good at the game, then obviously your player won't have the stat line either. That like
Yes.
say somebody who can't run the ball like Meats can, obviously his running back won't be the running back that Meats is because Meats is a better runner. I mean, I guess there's all there
Yes.
is to that as well.
And something I noticed about team building, and this is just me personally being dumb. Um, a lot of times I try to use my star players to win games
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And what I've been noticing from a lot of the good guys, they're concentrating more on developing the younger players
Mm-hmm.
than they are uh,
Yes.
getting the ball to the for sure catch Michael Thomas.
Yes.
Or you know what I mean. So I recognize that as a mistake too late in the cycle. That I got a guy or two on my team that I should have been really just concentrating on this guy because I mean not just in practice and developing, but as getting the ball to him rather than the other guy because he's just as good. But I should have been developing him more way before I started. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's a learning process. Some of you guys have been in there a lot longer than a lot of us, and some guys it just comes natural to. So
Yeah.
team building is definitely one of the biggest aspects of Madden and franchise league.
Yeah, and speaking of team building, New England Patriots in real life. This is our barbershop talk segment. The
Mm,
Patriots in real life.
already.
Yes, already. We're 15 minutes in, and we're talking about Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge move. First of all, I just want to ask Meat says it in chat all the time Brady, system quarterback. I'm more of a Brady guy. I think there's been a few guys saying I'd rather have the elite coach over the elite quarterback. What would you rather have and why? So, are you taking the Patriots with more wins this year or the Bucks with more wins this year? And then explain.
Okay. Started off with the Bucks with more wins this year, and I've been one of the number one guys, and I've always voiced this since the beginning. I don't change my opinions. I've always thought that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady would never leave each other without leaving the game altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think that either one of those guys wanted the world to know who was the main man. And to answer this question of better coach, better quarterback, which one would you take? But I think the balls of Tom Brady switching at the age of 40 to one of the worst teams in the league,
Mm-hmm.
I really think he knows something we all don't know.
Yeah.
I think that he knows that he's a better quarterback and that the Patriots winning has come through him. Because think about it, you have the best game plan in the world. But if you don't have guys on the field to execute, mainly your quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
the general on the field, if you don't have that guy on the field to execute that, then that game plan is shot. You might as well just flush it down the toilet because you don't have anybody to execute it. And I think that's what Tom Brady is going to show the world.
Yeah, Tom Brady is obviously very competitive, and being a Colts fan, I've felt the wrath of that many times. Uh, and also being a Colts fan, I've seen an elite quarterback with Peyton Manning take Jim Caldwell to the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody
Yes.
thinks that Jim Caldwell is an elite coach. He then went to the Detroit Lions to coach them, and Lions did not have any success at all. I have
Yes.
seen the Colts this year with Jacoby Brissett and an elite offensive line, a good running game, and some solid receivers.
Yes.
Frank Reich, an offensive mind, not and while he schemed guys open, Jacoby Brissett was still unwilling to pull the trigger. Tom Brady has won Super Bowls underneath different offensive coordinators. People say the Bill Belichick effect. Really, it's Bill Belichick does not call the offensive plays. This is an offense.
Nope.
Josh McDaniels, we've had Charlie Weiss, we've had Bill O'Brien. Those are three different offensive coordinators that Brady has won Super Bowls underneath, and three different schemes. So I'm taking Tom Brady 10 times out of 10 if I could have him for their whole career, because I think we're going to see this season the Patriots. I think they're going to finish at best 6-10. I don't see. I just don't see it happening. And I think, like you said, Brady is out to prove Bill wrong. And I heard a rumor that he actually had called up the Colts to possibly come to Indy, and the Colts had picked Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady, which makes my stomach sick. But so I think Brady. That was Peter King reported that if he called up Indianapolis, the biggest rival of New England, obviously, Brady really wanted to stick it to Bill, I think, and it's going to be scary to watch down there in Tampa Bay.
Oh wow, yeah. If that's true, then hey, man, I feel sorry for you. But you have to feel sorry for me as well because we got one of those offensive coordinators down here, and he has made some very dumb decisions down here, and decisions that cannot be made by somebody who hasn't won anything. So yeah, so I feel your pain, man. And shout out to Paulie, man. Paulie, man.
Pray
you
for
know,
Paulie, man.
this guy would dip Tom Brady's jockstrap into a pool of water and juice and suck him dry, man.
Yeah.
We got love, man. So
Paulie, man, just right now, just pledge your allegiance to the Bucks. Don't say you're a Patriots fan because it's gonna be ugly. Yeah. It's gonna be ugly, man.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Also shout out to Paulie, man. His show is doing very well.
Yes.
In my opinion, a little too well.
Yes, a little too well.
75 views, Paulie. Get out of here, man. You got your whole class vote.
Bro, Paulie, come on, man. I heard some F words in there. You can't be showing that to 14-year-olds. Come on, man. Don't at me, Paulie. I know the truth.
Don't at us, Paulie. We ain't trying to hear it. We know that the Total Access is the spot, baby. This is where it's at. This is the league talk. This is where we do the big things. So not shitting on your show because we love you and we want you to be as great as us.
I heard the prime Mickey Mouse sound bites too, Paulie. Did you hear those little Minnie Mouse Prime sound effects he had? Yeah, it's
a chipmunk.
Yeah,
the chipmunk bites.
Also,
hey, if you haven't listened to Paulie's podcast, go and listen to it. You're probably gonna push if I'm shouting it out right now, it's probably going to go over 100-something views now because people are going to actually listen to it.
Yeah, but Paulie's bots are going to be listening to it. It's actually people.
Shots fired. But yeah, go listen to it. It's actually a pretty good show, man. and he causes a bit of controversy on there, man.
Yes.
And if you watch Prime's, what's the name of your
Waking
documentary
up the
series?
echoes. Waking up the echoes.
Waking Up the Echoes. This is a great documentary series. It's based off Prime. It will not just be about Prime. Prime is going to eventually add other guys into
Yes.
this, and he's going to do one once, every so often about one guy, and it's interesting because he goes through some of the stuff that all you guys are claiming about the GOAT. And as you know, it's easy to great. I am the OG hype man of the SML. So I want this league to succeed. So I want it to be valuable, and I've always felt as valuable is that is most valuable when we do have a Jordan or a Tiger Woods. I know you guys are tired of hearing me say that, but so I am a Prime supporter, and he is my friend, and so it is what it is. I'm a Prime supporter, but I'm just gonna let you guys know, man, y'all poking a bear. Y'all messing around with the wrong guy. Sunday, I heard you, baby. I like you. I did see you, but I did see you get beat by Grams in that Super Bowl in the primer, and I did see Grams blow you out this year. So I don't know if you want to say that Prime is not the best player in this league this cycle. The man's won 3 championships.
I
What you got to
appreciate.
say to that, Prime?
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I do think 3 of 5 does qualify me as the best when the next closest guy has won. But you know what? If that's his opinion, he guaranteed a Super Bowl if we play. I'll be there. So that's up to you to make it. And that's all I got to say. I'll be there, and
Awesome.
haven't lost a Super Bowl in about 3 real life years now. So we'll see how that goes out.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Hey,
man.
man, I can't wait.
I
That's what
appreciate
makes
it.
the SML great,
Yes,
baby.
yes, yes, I agree 100%, man. And ZZ, thanks for coming on as usual. The most dynamic duo, peanut butter and jelly, Montana to Rice, Manny to
Yes, sir.
Harrison. It's the GOAT.
Yes, sir.
It's the
Yes,
best.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
apply today if you guys are looking for a league. SimMaddenLeague.com. Join the primer. We got 1 or 2 spots open. It's lit. It's fire, guys. Thanks for listening. And you guys have a good week. Stay healthy.
Awesome.